Good morning and welcome to the MRSC Rosters Overview webinar for government agencies. My name is Tara Anderson, and as coordinator of the MRSC Rosters service, I will be your presenter today. Also, I would like to thank my colleague Leah Savita for her technical assistance. Before we jump into the presentation, I'll review a few technical notes. During the webinar, if you have any technical trouble, please call our front desk at 206-625-1300. You'll notice that when you first entered the webinar, a toolbar appeared on the side of your screen. To expand or collapse the toolbar, you can click on the orange arrow, and to submit questions or comments, expand the question section, type your question or comment, and then click the send button. You can send in your questions at any time, and I will respond to questions at the end of the presentation. This webinar is being recorded, and it will be available on the website in about a week. I will also email you a link to the recording in case you would like to share it with your colleagues. Today's presentation is intended for public agencies interested in learning about how MRSC Rosters can be a valuable tool for your roster contracting needs. We will review the MRSC Rosters membership, legal notice posting, business application process, and how your agency would search the rosters to find registered businesses. We'll then talk about the details of how your agency can join MRSC Rosters by the December 1st deadline. I want to mention that we will not be reviewing purchasing or bidding procedures. However, you may find more information from links about procurement, such as the Small Works Roster Manual, along with all the other information we cover today under the Public Agency tab at mrscrosters.org. In case you are not familiar with our organization, I'd like to offer a little overview. MRSC Rosters is a service of the private nonprofit MRSC that has been supporting Washington local governments for over 80 years through trusted consultation, research, training, and collaboration. MRSC is funded primarily through a portion of the local share of the Washington State Liquor Revolving Fund, so that all city and county elected officials and staff can access MRSC services without paying direct fees. In addition, MRSC provides services to a few special district associations through contracts, and we offer fee-based services, including MRSC Rosters. More information about MRSC can be found at mrsc.org. The MRSC Rosters is an associated but separate funded service that is funded entirely from public agency membership fees and business membership fees. MRSC Rosters is a membership roster service which hosts individual small public works rosters and consultant rosters, in addition to an optional vendor rosters in an online shared database, and provides all of the legal and customer service maintenance needed to utilize rosters. MRSC has been offering this service since 2007, when the City of Linwood discontinued their Puget Sound-based shared roster of 45 agencies. We absorbed those agencies and have expanded the service to now serve 494 Washington cities, counties, and districts statewide. Agencies that range from small to large use our service and overwhelmingly agree that MRSC Rosters saves their agency money, resources, and time. We're happy to report that customer satisfaction is at 99%. If you want to see an entire list of the participating agencies, you can click on the linked number on the MRSC Rosters homepage and view all the 494 government agency members that use our service. So you can also click by county and see who in your area is already a member. Specifically, the MRSC Rosters membership includes the hosting of your individual small public works roster and consultant roster within the shared online database, optional hosting of your individual vendor roster, posting of the required roster legal notice on your behalf, customer support for business registration and application renewal, and the maintenance of the electronic business applications in the searchable database. It's easy to see that the MRSC roster service is unmatched in its exceptional value. For a small annual membership fee, MRSC provides all of the roster business support, application maintenance, and posts a roster legal notice on behalf of member agencies. The fee is based on the 5-year average of your public agency's total capital expenditures. For example, if your agency's TCE was under $5 million, then you would only have to pay $120 a year for MRSC Rosters membership, and that fee includes the legal notice. It's simple to calculate the savings because it usually requires up to a half-time position to maintain rosters, and one legal notice can be twice to 10 times more expensive than the small fee. So think about that. You could be saving thousands of dollars and a lot of time by using MRSC Rosters. It really is an amazing value for public agencies across the state. As mentioned, the membership fee includes the statute-required annual legal notice posting to notify businesses of your rosters. Information about the legal notice postings can be found on the website under the Public Agency tab. The notices are posted the first Monday of January and June in newspapers of broad circulation per county. Publications include the Seattle Daily Journal of Commerce, the Yakima Herald, the Spokesman Review, the Olympian, and other newspapers of wide circulation. This posting fulfills generally applicable state roster advertising requirements, but keep in mind that if you have an internal agency policy to announce your rosters in a publication MRSC does not post in, such as a small local newspaper, it would still be your responsibility to post that notice, or you would need to adjust your policy so that MRSC Rosters posting fulfills your advertising obligations. The posting for those agencies whom utilize the small works and consultant roster is published annually, which means those agencies who join or renew by May 1st each year are published in the June legal notice, while those agencies who join or renew by December 1st each year are published in the January legal notice. The posting for those agencies whom utilize the vendor roster in addition to the small works and consultant roster are published twice a year. Of course, the core of the MRSC roster service is that we host public agency members' individual business rosters in the shared database. Specifically, the MRSC Rosters membership includes the package hosting of your agency's individual small public works roster for businesses providing construction, repair, and maintenance as referenced in RCW 3904-155, and your consultant roster for businesses that provide architecture, engineering, surveying as defined by the ANE statute, as well as some other professional services. Also, MRSC Rosters includes a vendor roster component, so you have the option for MRSC to also maintain your individual agency vendor roster for supplier businesses and those who provide non-public works services such as equipment repair or vehicle maintenance. Now, I want to emphasize that MRSC Rosters is not one roster shared by multiple jurisdictions through an interlocal agreement. Public agencies join MRSC Rosters individually, and we host their individual agency rosters in the database. If your public agency currently participates in an interlocal roster agreement, you would need to terminate that agreement in order to join MRSC Rosters as an individual public agency. You would also need to notify your partners that they should either join MRSC Rosters individually if they would like to use the service, or they should begin hosting their own individual rosters internally. Of course, you'll want to notify staff and businesses if you join MRSC Rosters. So we have transition assistance information and materials available on the MRSC Rosters website under the Public Agency tab in the Transition Assistance section. So we have that there, so you don't have to figure it all out on your own. And now you probably work with a lot of businesses and you want to keep working with them. Well, signing up with your agency through MRSC Rosters is easy for businesses. In fact, many of our business members tell us that they wish all agencies in Washington used MRSC Rosters because it's just so much easier to sign up and renew with MRSC Rosters than it is with traditional Rosters applications. So that you understand the process your businesses would have to go through in order to become members of MRSC Rosters and sign up with your agency, we'll go over the business application process. Businesses who are interested in registering with any of the participating public agency members can join at any time following a simple three-step process. They visit the website, mrscrosters.org, and click on the business membership button. They create an account, and then they complete the application. Once they have completed the application, MRSC verifies that they meet the minimum state requirements to work with Washington public agencies, and they are listed for 1 year. They must renew annually to confirm their information is current and to remain listed. But don't worry, we remind the businesses to renew, so you don't have to. The application is straightforward and asks for basic information such as roster type, business type, contact information, classifications and licenses, insurance, certifications, statement of qualifications, and project summaries. As with any roster application, businesses are required to provide basic information about their company in order to register. They will need to indicate what type of roster or rosters they would like to register on, small works, consultant, and/or vendor, and then complete all other required fields, such as entering their business contact information, licenses, insurance, and indicating the services they provide. The main difference in the MRSC Rosters application from a traditional roster application is that in one application, businesses can register with multiple public agencies. This is why it's so much easier for them to use this service and to connect with you through this service. In the Statement of Qualifications section, businesses who selected the consultant roster type are required to upload one document that offers a brief overview of their services, equivalent to what they would have traditionally submitted as marketing materials. This page is then followed by the project summary section, which is optional for all businesses, and they can post project references and upload up to 4 brief explanatory documents about those projects. It is free for businesses to register in MRSC Rosters with the basic application, but a nominal $10 admin fee is applied to basic members who select 10 or more agencies at one time. And this small fee just covers the administrative costs necessary to maintain the program and deliver access businesses need to multiple agency rosters in one convenient location. Businesses do have the option to upgrade to enhanced membership, which allows them to select services by category groupings, and in the public agency section of the application allows them to select public agencies by county grouping or to select all participating agencies. Also, if they select agencies by grouping, new agencies that join within their selected counties will be automatically added to the business account. Details about the enhanced membership annual fees can be found at mrscrosters.org under the Business tab. A little over 1/3 of the over 5,000 participating businesses use the enhanced application, and they tend to be larger businesses or businesses who are able to provide their services or goods throughout many counties or across the whole state. So let's go ahead and move on to how businesses select services in their application. The services section is where businesses select the specific services they provide based on the roster types they indicated earlier in the application. It is free for businesses to register with your agency and select all of the services they provide. In the basic application, businesses can select services individually. So for example, if they choose small works as their business type, they could then click on the service category agricultural irrigation systems, stock watering pump systems, and more. And once they make those selections, they just click the Save and Continue button and move on to the next page of the application. Like I mentioned, if the business has chosen the enhanced membership, they can select services by entire category grouping. And in this case, a pop-up message does ask them to confirm that they do actually provide every single service listed in an entire category. So next, the business would move on to the public agency selection. The public agency roster section is where businesses select the specific public agencies that they would like to register with and be listed with. So just like on the services selection page when using the basic application, businesses can select agencies individually, just one at a time. If the business is using the enhanced application, they can select public agencies by county grouping, such as all of Adams County, and others, and then they can also select to be registered statewide. As I mentioned, when an enhanced member makes these selections, new agencies are automatically added to their account. And then once their desired selections have been made, they simply save and continue. So it's a really straightforward, easy process for them. And just to remind you, businesses must select specific public agencies in order to appear on the generated roster business lists. Once the business has completed all of the required sections, they'll submit the application for review. Twice a week, MRSC reviews complete business applications to ensure the applicants meet the minimum state requirements to work with Washington state local governments. All businesses are required to have a Washington UBI number, Washington DOR account, and a federal tax ID number, including out-of-state businesses and suppliers. Additionally, small works contractors cannot be debarred from public works projects and must hold workers' comp premium status if they have employees. Consultants are required to upload a general statement of qualifications. If the business meets the requirements, they are sent a confirmation email letting them know that they are registered with the public agencies they selected. Now, as with any roster, it is the business's responsibility to complete the registration process. But we do send 3 reminders for incomplete accounts offering up to a month to complete the application. And if they don't complete the application within 1 month, their account is deactivated, but they can access their account to complete the application at any time. While MRSC Rosters verifies that all listed businesses meet the minimum state requirements, initially, it is always the agency's responsibility to verify the business's qualifications prior to awarding a contract, and the business's responsibility to ensure that their application is complete and accurate. During their annual renewal, we do require businesses to confirm that their information is still correct, and we encourage them to update information throughout the year whenever it changes. Now, we'll go on to how you, as a public agency, would use MRSC Rosters. So you may want to submit your business membership-related questions at this time, but remember, we'll be answering questions at the very end of the presentation. So if you do become an MRSC Rosters member and your agency decides to use a roster contracting process, you would visit the website and log in to your account by entering, of course, your username and password. There is just one login per agency, but multiple individuals may be logged in at the same time. Once you log in, you would land at your agency's homepage where there are 3 options for finding business information. Most often, you would use the first option of generating a roster, where you can search by service category within the roster types. We will review this in a moment, but there are two other options for finding business information that I want to show you. One option is to download the business contacts. Sometimes you might want to contact all of your registered businesses about events like workshops on government contracting. So in the download business contacts option, you're able to download a spreadsheet of all the contact information for all the businesses registered on your rosters. And you can download the business information by roster type, or you can download all roster contacts. Another option, once you have already begun working with a business, is to simply look up a business application by searching by company name. When you search and find that business that you're looking for, you can click on the business name to view their full application. Now we'll continue with the generate a roster process, which is what you would most often be using. To search by service category, you will first determine a roster type, small works, consultant, or vendor roster, for example. To conduct your service category search for construction-oriented businesses, you would click on the small works roster. Once you make that selection, you'll be brought to the page where you can search by service category. And at this point, you will select the services or service that you need in one of three ways. You can select an individual service category, such as the subcategory agricultural irrigation systems, or you can select multiple individual service categories. You can also select by groupings. So that would mean you could select all of agricultural and conservation improvement, repair, and maintenance category. And you can also filter to search for businesses who are available for emergency work. I want to point out that the default search will generate a list of businesses that meet any of the service requirements you choose. If you want a more precise list, select the checkbox next to the search only for businesses that match all selections option. Once you have made all of your choices, you're ready to move on, you'll click the Search Businesses button to generate your roster. The search will generate your roster for the service category or categories that you selected. This page will indicate the search you conducted and then list all of your registered businesses. You can then click on the business's name to view their complete application. And like you noticed before, that includes their insurance information, certification information, classifications, statement of qualifications, project summaries, and all their different selected service categories, and more. So on this page, you will also have to print or save as a PDF to retain a record of your generated roster, because businesses are joining daily and you most likely will not be able to generate an identical list later. Then you'll go ahead and click the Continue button to determine the businesses you would like to solicit for the project. Just to be clear, businesses will appear on your roster because they selected your agency in one of three ways. They individually selected your specific agency, or they used the enhanced membership and selected to be listed with all participating agencies in the county where you are located, or they used the enhanced membership and selected to be listed statewide. So keep in mind that when your agency, if your agency joins, there are automatically businesses listed in your roster because they have selected your county or to be listed statewide. Once you join, businesses will also have the option to select your agency individually. There are over 5,000 diverse businesses registered with MRSC Rosters, and our agency members have told us that when they switched to using this service, their rosters became more diverse and more competitive. So when you click the Continue button after you've generated your roster for that service category, it will be brought to this page to determine which businesses you would like to solicit for the project. The easiest way to meet equitability requirements is to solicit a project opportunity to all businesses listed by clicking Solicit Businesses button and moving on without narrowing your list. We recognize that you may have a long list and only feel the need to utilize internal policies to contact a few businesses, such as 3 to 5 businesses. So you can choose to narrow your roster by checking the checkbox above the listed businesses and then selecting only some of the businesses to contact. If you choose Narrow My Roster Results to narrow your search, you can click on the business names again to view their full applications. As mentioned, these applications do include, the business website address, the contact information, certifications such as women or minority-owned business, insurance information, licenses, statement of qualifications, which you can download and review, and all other application information. So as you review these applications, you'll be able to get more details about these businesses, as you're narrowing that list. And then you can check the boxes next to the businesses that you do choose to solicit. During this process, you'll also need to click the Print or Save button again in order to save the reduced list for your record retention purposes. So once you've gone through all of this and you've chosen who you want to contact, then you can go ahead and click that Solicit Businesses button. After you've determined the businesses and you've clicked that button, then the final step is to choose how you would like to solicit the businesses. On this final page, you can either download a sortable spreadsheet of the business contact information, which includes email addresses, phone numbers, and mailing addresses, if you want to use a generated list to send out mailings. But it's also helpful because it includes the certification information, so you can easily spot a minority-owned business or a women-owned business. And it's also handy for logging those who have responded to your RFPs or RFQs. There is also the Email All option that will export all of the business email addresses to your default email client, such as Outlook, so you can immediately send business contacts RFPs or RFQs just by attaching a document, including some explanation, invitation, etc. And then lastly, there is always the basic option of copying and pasting those listed emails into your email client and following that same step of just contacting those businesses with the opportunity via email. So just to recap, MRSC Rosters public agency membership is an exceptional value, providing all of your roster maintenance for a small annual membership fee. It saves your agency staff time and financial resources. Plus, MRSC Rosters does enable your agency to tap into a more diverse list of businesses. So if your agency would like to join the 494 public agencies already saving time and money with MRSC Rosters, then there are a few steps you'll need to follow in order to begin using the service. Public agency registration is open 2 times a year, May and December. The next registration deadline to submit the contract is December 1st to begin using the service in January 2018. We can't allow early registration just due to the legal notice schedule. So to join MRSC Rosters, you will need to do the following. determine if you would like MRSC to maintain only your small works roster and consultant roster package, or have MRSC maintain those rosters and your vendor roster. You'll want to print the appropriate contract found on the MRSC Rosters website under the Public Agency tab and obtain the appropriate authorization, which may involve bringing the contract to a council or board meeting for approval. I will show you in a moment where to find the contract on the website. You'll also want to have your membership fee processed to send with the contract. However, if that does not work for your invoicing, we can bill you later. And if you do not currently have one, you will need to adopt an internal roster resolution. A template resolution can be found on the MRSC Rosters website under the Public Agency tab. So lastly, if you currently maintain rosters, do not announce your transition to MRSC Rosters until after the December 1st deadline, because doing so prior to your account activation might cause some confusion, since your agency won't be listed until that December 1st date. Once it's listed and active, that's when businesses can start adding you individually. So at this time, we'll open the floor for questions. If you haven't already, please take a moment to submit questions you may have regarding MRSC Rosters membership, and then we'll take the next few minutes for responses. To submit questions, just remember you expand the question section, type your question, and click the button to send it in to me. So while questions are being submitted, I want to review the website and show you where you can find more information, like the MRSC Rosters contracts and the resolution template. The website is mrscrosters.org, and from the home page, you can click the Public Agency tab, and you'll see here that all of the information that you would need, including the contracts, sample resolution, and the membership fee chart, it's all here. So it's a great place to go if you are looking for the specific next steps that your agency wants to follow to join and begin using the service in January. So what I'll do is start going over some questions. I see some are coming in now. The first question we have is, I've been talking to contractors that say the MRSC roster service posts projects and they aren't always notified. I was confused by this as I didn't understand that this is a project posting service. That is accurate. We are not a project posting service. Sometimes we do have some businesses who do mix us up with other services out there that are project posting services. So it's just kind of, I think, a matter of being able to explain to businesses, hey, instead of you having to search through opportunities, opportunities come to you. So you don't have to check in all the time and see if there's something that applies to your business. You'll get contacted when your service is needed. So it's a common question that we do get, and we're trying to, I guess, better frame the service and communicate that to our businesses so that question doesn't happen as often. Let's see. If more than 10 agencies request a business, does that automatically bump them from basic to enhanced? No, if an business has more than 10 agencies who are asking them to get on their roster, they would then fall into that category where that really small $10 admin fee applies to their account. So it's not enhanced, it's just this little $10 fee every year. When you think about it, I mean, the fact that they don't have to fill out multiple applications with multiple agencies and keep those up to date every year, it kind of, the $10 pays for itself, or the membership pays for itself in that way, just by saving businesses all of that sort of marketing resources that they would typically spend applying to all these individual applications. Let's see. The next question I have here is, can we preview businesses with MRSC to see if there are enough participating businesses in our area? We don't have like a particular way to do that, but I'm happy to work with any individual agency who has that question to provide a list of businesses in your area based on like a report that I can run and give to you, if that's going to help you better make your decision. So if whoever asked that question, feel free to contact me and I will get that information to you. I'll just go ahead and put my contact information up here so you can see that and reach out. Let's see, is there an additional cost to host a vendor roster? Nope, there's no additional cost for that. It's just an optional add-on. So some agencies out there like to keep maintaining their own vendor roster, and others have found it helpful to switch over and have us just take care of all of their rosters. And the last question I see here is there an option for an agency to utilize just the SmallWorks roster, or is it combined with the consultants roster? The SmallWorks and consultant roster is a combined like package deal. So you can search them separately, use them separately, of course, but it's not something that we can separate at this point, just because of the legal notice structure and the program structure. So that's how that works currently. It looks like that was the last question. That's excellent. I really do hope that what we covered today has been helpful and that it helps you to see the value of the MRSC Rosters service. And if you're ready to join, please plan to submit your contract by December 1st to start using MRSC Rosters in January. Like I said, if you have any follow-up questions, you can visit our website or contact me. We'll be sending a link of this recorded webinar to you in about a week and posting it on the website under the Public Agency tab. When you exit the webinar, please take a few moments to complete the survey and offer us any suggestions, comments, feedback. We always love feedback. Thank you very much for your time and have a great rest of your week.